Bob was a man of great integrity. He really understood doing the right thing for the right reasons. He truly, truly cared for the people around him.
Robert Leader, Bob, a servant leader by all accounts.
But it was just how he lived, and it described well who he was. He wasn't afraid to get into the trenches. He wasn't afraid to get to know people that, in fact, it was very common that he knew the names of all the people that worked for him.
Born and raised in Omaha, a graduate of Benson High School, he grew up around the family business, a general contracting firm founded in 1884 and acquired by his father, Roy, in 1939. Bob joined Lueder Construction Company a year later, a decorated veteran of World War II, fresh out of Iowa State.
He was a consummate salesman. Bob was constantly out in the marketplace and talking to architects and engineers and significant people in the community to find out what was going on. And he was very bold in how he approached some of those folks and how he approached that work. But one of the things that Bob did in the 60s was he really embraced the construction management process, which took the business from a pure construction role to really to more of an advisor role with customers and more of a relational role with customers. And that was a very new concept in the 60s and 70s. And Bob and Lueder Construction were really some of the pioneers in our area as far as bringing that to light. And now today that represents probably 75% of the type of work that we do is construction management type work. It really fit how he liked to do business and how he liked to treat people. I remember a story about a project that was bid when he was still running the business, and there was an obvious error made in the bid, and our price was substantially lower than our competitors. And people were wondering, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And Bob's simple answer was, we're going to build the job for the price that we gave him. Anytime Bob's name comes up with anybody that knew him back in the day, they always talk about the pocket notebook that he had. What I found out later is he would take those notes and give them to his secretary, and his secretary would transcribe them, and then she would catalog them. And so if Bob knew that he was going to see somebody again that he had met previously, he would go pull that catalog file and reread it so that he would remind himself all of the facts that he knew or that he had found out about that individual. It was just another way of showing that he cared about people and he was interested in them. 10 years before he passed away, my wife and I took Bob and Mary out to dinner one night, and we were downtown, and afterwards we drove around downtown and midtown, and it was fascinating because Bob was pointing out different projects that we had built that some of them I didn't even know anything about. But he knew not only the projects, he knew the people that were involved with them, and that was really the focus of his story.
Bob continued to be an asset to Lueder Construction even after his full retirement in 1994.
It was not uncommon a week or two, once a week or every other week or so, to get a call from him and say, hey, do you know about this project or that project? And this is coming up. So he always had his nose to the ground about what was going on in Omaha and always wanted to share that with us and make sure we were on top of it.
Before his 3 decades of service to Lueder Construction, Bob wore the uniform in service to his country. His architectural engineering studies at Iowa State interrupted by World War II. The sacrifice that earned him a Purple Heart, Silver Star, and the Presidential Unit Citation.
Just the caring, the community involvement, how they treat people, those kinds of things. I see that demonstrated in his kids and now in his grandkids. So I think that's probably the best testimony of a great dad and a great parent, is whether you've driven those values down through your family. I know he loved his family dearly, and them him.
Raising 4 children with his wife of 60-plus years, Bob considered that his greatest accomplishment. Bob Lueder died in 2013 at the age of 91.
He was considered part of what they call the greatest generation serving in World War II. The self-sacrificing mindset was common in that generation, but taking that to the next level and contributing to the community in the way that he did, and contributing to the lives of his employees and their families in the way that he did, it truly was the way that he was wired and the way that he was made. And I can't think of a better person to honor with this recognition than Bob. He truly was a significant member of the Omaha community.
For his service to country, company, and community, for decades spent building a legacy worth taking note of, please welcome Robert Bob Lueder to the Omaha Business Hall of Fame.